All right, today's video is going to be absolutely phenomenal. I've got a very ambitious hobby veteran guest on the channel who has decided, you know what? Rare Michael Jordan 90s inserts and parallels are just not rare enough. He decided he wants to take on the world of Michael Jordan one-of-one cards. He created and co-created a project discussing the 72 Michael Jordan 90s solo playing years one-of-one cards. We're going to look through that project, and then we're going to get to look through this ambitious fella's collection on his card ladder search. So we can actually go on to Card Ladder, which, by the way, he was the inventor of. He was one of the 3 co-founders of. And we're going to look through his collection, and we're going to get to look at some real serious Michael Jordan one-of-one eye candy. If you've always wanted to know more about Michael Jordan one-of-one cards like I do, and I don't own one, but I want to know more about them, today's video is going to be for you. Enjoy this hierarchy type project exploring the Michael Jordan playing years one-of-one cards from the 90s. Enjoy.
See why Card Ladder is the industry leader in sports card data. We know what you want because Card Ladder was created by collectors for collectors. Card Ladder. Join the innovators, not the imitators.
All right, guys, we're here. As you heard in the introduction, I've got Chris McGill of Card Ladder fame and the back of Panini Prism card fame as well. Also, for those of you that don't know, this guy also has an incredible podcast where, impressively, he sometimes goes for an hour solo, real thoughtful. It's like a mixture of Sigmund Freud, Shakespeare, and who else am I missing? And maybe Michael Jordan himself.
How about Frasier from
That's right.
the Cheers, and then his own show? That's my real idol.
Frasier Crane.
Yes,
that it is. It's something you guys need to go check out. It's on. I know I listen to it on Spotify. I'm sure you can get it on other crazy stuff that I don't understand or know about. But I listen to it on Spotify, and I get excited every time one comes out. Even when you're talking about Mahomes and crap like that, I still find the analysis super interesting and super helpful. But we're not here to talk about Patrick Mahomes. We're here to talk about an incredible quest that you have undertaken. You've made great strides in it, and we're here to talk about a project that sort of accompanies that quest. It is in the Michael Jordan card world, so everybody can put down their pitchforks and torches and calm down. We're going to talk about Michael Jordan at great lengths today with Chris, but we're talking about something that not many of the people that are listening know a damn thing about, including me with 2 hands raised. We're going to talk about the Michael Jordan one-of-one playing years card market and what that entails. Chris, I don't even know really where to begin other than I think screen sharing. Why don't you just kind of introduce us to what was it that kind of tipped you and kind of nudged you away from what I do, which is, Michael Jordan inserts and parallels from the 90s, and what you taught me to do that, right? So that's how I got into that. And now you're into something that I want to learn more about. It's too late for me to challenge you or even be a part of this, to be quite honest with you, because I would feel guilty if I owned a one-of-one and didn't hand it over to you. But what got you into it, man?
That's right. No one-of-ones for you, Brian. You have to funnel them all to me. Well, first of all, it's just so funny, the feedback loop, because honestly, you are to blame for all of this. And if this goes poorly, I am blaming you.
Great.
So it was the hierarchy project that you did, and the flash of brilliance that you had to sort of taxonomize the 90s Jordan offering. And you and Dawson and Frankie and the crew had just done such an amazing job of covering everything that when you sort of came to me and said, hey, do you have any input on this? I sort of said, well, maybe the one of a kind should be a tier up or something, but I didn't really have anything great to offer. But I was like, you know what I can do that's interesting? I just started thinking to myself, doesn't MJ have some one-of-ones? And maybe that's what I could contribute to this hierarchy discussion, even though I know they're excluded. But just like that could be my little angle, is like, hey, well, these are cool too. And that was a few years ago. And so in preparation for an episode with you, I started very early working on this spreadsheet. I think it was September of 2023.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
and I just started spreadsheeting Michael Jordan one of ones from the 90s, just to try to offer something novel to the discussions. And I just kept working on it, and I kept working on it and thinking about it and learning a little bit more and a little bit more about MJ one of ones. And I always I always loved serial numbered cards. And then one of ones are sort of the apex of that. And collecting ultra modern, collecting Jokic and Mahomes and Luka and these guys, I always wanted their one of ones.
Yeah.
And it just sort of dawned on me, like, maybe what if I tried approaching Michael Jordan this way? And Michael Jordan has a lot of niches or silos. He has the very iconic, very valuable, highly desired 90s parallels and inserts that you cover amazingly well and that are the focus of the Hierarchy Project. And then he has other stuff too. He has his star releases, he has his 80s Fleer releases, he has the retro stuff, he has the exquisite era stuff, he has the Goodwin era, the suit entertainment card era stuff. Like, he has a lot of different cards.
Street clothes MJ.
The street clothes stuff, the Wizards era stuff. He has a lot of really cool cards, but the place that I was drawn to, just because I love the one of ones, was just that. And so eventually I kept researching and learning more and more, and then that brings us up to today.
My mind is blown. And let me tell you, when I put the Hierarchy Project together, I had a lot of stuff to consider. Like, I could have made that thing 1,500 cards, right? We could have included all of the one of ones. But let me tell you why we didn't include the one of ones, because I didn't think Immortal had any chance to A, locate them, B, buy them. I just didn't. It didn't seem like a realistic endeavor to include in the project. Not because it was obscure. It's not obscure. If I saw a Jordan 101, it would immediately catch my eye on any auction house anywhere ever, right? It was just that I hadn't seen one to that point. I hadn't been in the Jordan world for 3-4 years. I hadn't seen one. And I've got a pretty big mouth and a pretty wide reach, as you know, and still they seem so difficult to find. Chris, it's the same reason I never thought about maybe putting together the PMG green set. It just doesn't seem realistic, right? And so that's why they weren't included. It had nothing to do. It wasn't meant to be a derogatory decision that I made there, or disparagement to one of ones. It was just, they seemed pie in the sky. It didn't seem realistic, and so I left them out along with some other stuff. But
I always did too, Bryan.
What y'all have done. And let me just, the only way to attack this thing is to screen share. That's without you. That's not good. Let's do this. Okay, there we go. This is a research project. It sounded like, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, this is a project where you try to put together a definitive list of Michael Jordan's 72 one-of-one solo cards from the 90s. And I know you want to make sure we give this guy credit. Frizzo Collects had a big part in this. In fact, I think he did all of the design work, if I'm not mistaken, and helped you put this together. Basically took your spreadsheet and turned it into a living, breathing visual monster that we're about to look at right now. So guys, go give. Frizzo Collects has got 1,052 followers. That needs to be 10,052 followers after this. And we're about to look at it. And then, of course, if you're not following Chris, go get him. He's on House of Jordans. We're having a contest of followers, me and Chris. We're neck and neck. So don't
I don't pick
him.
up. That's 10 years almost of accumulation of followers. They like come and leave my page. But let me say something. Let me say something about Frizzo. Okay.
Yes, please. Let's go back.
Frizzo was inspired by the Hierarchy Project, and yeah, that first post that he has is his own. That's a different poster that he created. That's inspired by you. That documents his approach to collecting the most iconic and desired 90s cards. And I saw that a few weeks ago, and I was just completely blown away by it. And I started chatting with him a little bit and stuff. And then we got onto the topic sort of this one-of-one research project that I've been doing. And he sent me like a video of his poster, and I was just like, this is amazing, man. I was like, do you think you could ever make like an index like this for the one-of-one research that I'm doing? And he was like, yeah, I definitely could. He was like, and I was like, you must be a professional in this space. And he is. He's a professional graphic designer from Norway. And so, I fed him the research, and he complemented it with some of his own, grabbing images, like some of these cards that we're going to look at, these one-of-ones, they've never been seen before, but he was able to Photoshop and create the images. He's also a 90s collector. He's got a really cool collection. And
no
a big
doubt.
fan of this, a big fan of your channel too. So he's really, I told him that I was going to be joining you. He's really excited about it. He's a great guy to work with. And I think he may be open to collaborations for future work in this area as well.
Go give him a follow. It's Frisso, FRISSO.collects. And Chris, going back, I get messages all the time. So I had forgotten this until we just looked at this right here. He reached out to me before he did it. He said, "Hey, do you mind if ... And I was like, man, I'm flattered that you would reach out to me and, insinuate that I have some, monopoly over visual Michael Jordan, collecting or something like that. I was like, hey, I have no power or wherewithal. I invite anybody and everybody out there, if they've got a passion to put anything together, Michael Jordan or otherwise, in the hobby, absolutely go do it. No one needs my permission. It sounds preposterous to even say it. I'm just a minnow amongst whales. And he took it and created something absolutely otherworldly and gorgeous, as you can see on your screen. And it looks like he hit the repeat button and did it again with you, because this is what we're here to talk about today. Along the same lines, this is the project. And so this is going to be the main screen. We're going to go through it step by step. And you did a great job in the research section, or Frisso did, of breaking it down into the different segments of one-of-ones so it's digestible and quantifiable. But this is the big boy. This is the bad boy. Chris, are these in chronological order? I think they are, right?
Yeah, so there's only 2 years of 90s Jordan one-of-ones. You have 97, 98, that has the first 7 Jordan one-of-ones, and then there's 98, 99, which has the other 65. And they combine to make 72 total, which is nice because that's sort of paying homage to the 72 win season of the Bulls. So there's 72, that's it. And of course, honorable mention is made to 99 2000, which has one of its legs in the 90s and the other in the 2000s, but those are not included. The 99 2000s are not included. And honorable mention is made to the printing plates as well, sure, which are not numbered one-of-one from the 90s, but they are obviously prints of one each. And there's 12 total from the 90s. There's 4 plates that parallel Jordan Stadium Club base card. There's 4 that accompany or were used to make his Team of the 90s card. And then there's 4 more from the 98-99 Stadium Club. So there's 12 plates too. Yep, there's one of the Team of the 90s plates right there. Boom. So those are really cool too. They didn't get numbered one-of-one, but they're obviously one. They're true one-of-ones. Absolutely. Right. So the honorable mention is made to those and to the 99 2000 releases, but this project here is focusing just on cards that are actually numbered one-of-one from the 90s of Michael Jordan, and there are in total 72.
You had to do what I had to do, right? Which is you got to cut bait at some point, man. Otherwise the project gets, overly burdensome, and you can get lost in it. And so you got to draw the line somewhere. And so I feel like I spent a year trying to explain to people why exquisite Michael Jordan cards weren't included, or North Carolina cards, or, Stanley wants to know why his dumb Yugoslavian Jordans are not in this project. And I'm like, dude, come on, man, give me a break. There's 368 of these things on one poster. I was like, I couldn't go to 568 or 868 or 1500 or whatever people wanted. So let's go through step by step, and I'll have you narrate for us, because I'm as dumb as it gets when it comes to this stuff. This is the first visual, the first screen share we got, and it's a big picture of a framed version of the 72 cards from the 90s, 97 and 98. Like you said, 7 from 97, 65 from 98, 99. And so we can and these are solo Michael Jordan cards, just to be very, very clear, solo Correct. Michael Jordan cards. And so let's start with the Lucky 7. Explain the Lucky 7, what they are. And I mean, again, I'm going to go out on a limb and say these 7 mean the most to you, in your opinion.
In my opinion, yeah. So I broke down these 72 cards into 6 buckets, which we're about to see. And I have at least 1 card from 5 of the buckets, which is really cool. And I do have 1 from this bucket. So this is the bucket, or I just nicknamed it the Lucky 7. But all this means is that these are Jordan's one of ones from the first year of serial numbered one of ones in basketball cards, which was 97, 98. So that's a very important season to me because I love one of ones. So this is what started it all in basketball cards, were these 7. So I think these 7 have, for me, they carry a lot of historical significance. And so there's 7 of them. There's 4 from Flair Showcase, row 0, row 1, row 2, and row 3. And we're familiar with those from the Hierarchy Project, obviously, because the legacy collections of those live in tier 1 of the Hierarchy Project.
That's right.
And so of those 4 one of ones from Flair, 3 have been seen, and they live with Nat in Nat's collection. And that's the row 0, 1, and 2. The row 3 has never been seen. So that one might still be out there in a pack. That might be in some storage locker somewhere. It might be buried in a collection. Who knows? And then we have the 2 from Ultra, which is the Platinum Masterpiece and the 98 Greats Masterpiece. And then we have the 1 from Upper Deck, which is the Power Deck, which is the one that I have. And I recently got that in a trade from the great Stanley, who is one of the most knowledgeable people about this topic in many of the silos of Michael Jordan cards, and is just one of the best collectors around. But I did bring it just in case we wanted to take a look at it.
We're going to hyper focus on that one a little bit later. So don't, we're going to get to it. I promise. Stanley, known for being basically a real easy person to get a bargain discount from when you trade with Stanley.
Right.
Chris, correct me if I'm wrong. At some point, our good friend Grant, Waldorf Stories,
he
came into possession of this, the first series Ultra Masterpiece 1 of 1 Michael Jordan from 97, and let go of it in very quick succession for a trade offer that he could not refuse. Somewhere in right at or maybe slightly above the 7-figure range, if I recall.
Yeah, no, dude, I don't know the full contents of that trade, but he took back so many monster cards. It was one of the greatest hauls I've ever seen. And that Ultra is really special. So that's the Platinum Masterpiece. According to release dates that we know from 97, 98, that Ultra product, that Series 1 Ultra, which is what the Platinum Masterpiece comes from, indicates that's the first Michael Jordan serial numbered 1 of 1 card to ever come out of a pack. Like,
gotcha. That's what I was asking on if we go back to the project, that's what I was asking. So these are not in chronological order from the year. They're just
correct. These are because I'm not 100% certain on release dates.
Yeah.
So what I am certain on is alphabetizing things. So these are alphabetized. Like once something gets in a bucket, I can figure out that A comes before B. So these are once they got put into one of the 6 buckets, then they're alphabetized within there.
This is absolutely mesmerizing, and I hate that I cannot be a part of it. Okay, moving along. Okay, so we're gonna get there, right? So this is your lucky 7, which is you got to be lucky. Well, now you just can't. Now, what's taking you so long to get all 7? I guess is the only question that people are gonna want to know, right?
I will never own any of the other 6 unless some miracle befalls me. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have to content myself with the 1, and even that was quite lucky.
Look. Here's the issue, and people out in the hobby, they wrestle with this, and this is not a 1 of 1 Michael Jordan issue. This is not a hierarchy issue. This is a sports card collecting issue that permeates the hobby. How do you reconcile? How do you come to grips with being a collector? You could be a set collector. You could be a PC collector. You could be a rainbow collector and still need a neon green serial number to 5. How do you come to grips with knowing that you may never get the final piece to your quest? Do you just fall back on it's the journey, not the destination? I mean, how do you reconcile stuff like that? Because I've had to reconcile stuff like that with the Hierarchy Project, knowing I'm never going to have the starting 5. I'm never going to have the PMG green. I'm probably not going to have the essential credentials now. I mean, I've had to come to grips with stuff like that, Chris. How do you process that, I guess, is the question people want to know.
Well, it's never perfect. Let's say you did complete the full checklist of all things that you want. Now you have a different problem, which is what's next. You know, the chase is such an important part of the collecting experience that it's not so bad that the chase never really finishes. That there's a silver lining there, which is that it always gives you something to aim for and to keep going for. So, you know, never really getting to the final destination isn't such a bad thing, in the sense that it continuously gives you something to work towards and aspire towards and try to create. And you know what? Once in a while, we do say never, and we are modest and humble, and that's a good way to be. But you never know if
You never know.
Bryan, one day that PMG green might knock at your door,
Oh,
and you never know. So you always just you have your goals and you have all your research in the back of your head at all times. You just wait and see.
just go from there. Okay, the lucky 7 are in the books. Those are all big cards. Those are all recognizable cards. That's easy to digest.
Yep.
Now is where we get a little bit more nuanced. We're starting to
yeah.
get a little bit more nuanced. Talk to me about the 4 horsemen. These are the next 4 in order on your research share here, and we're talking about one. Some people would say the one you're just about to talk about is the greatest Michael Jordan 1-of-1 card ever produced.
Exactly. So this bucket is super interesting. This is the bucket that I don't have any MJ 1-of-1s from. And this bucket contains the 1998-99 Gem Masters 1-of-1, which has recently been on display. It was at Fanatics Fest. It was on display. Very beautiful card. So the reason I called this the 4 Horsemen was because there are 4 first appearing base set 1-of-1s of Michael Jordan from the second season, from 1998-99. There's the Gem Masters 1-of-1. There's the XPX Finite Extreme 1-of-1. There's the Ultra Purple Masterpiece 1-of-1. And there's the Upper Deck Game Dated Gold 1-of-1. What all these have in common is that they are the first appearing card in a base set that is stamped 1-of-1 that shows Michael Jordan. So there's just 4 of those from the second year. These are all very, very special cards. The Purple Masterpieces with Nat. The SPX Finite Extreme has never been seen. I really like that card a lot. And the Game Dated Gold 1-of-1 has never been seen either.
Yeah. And the Gem Masters is owned by?
I'm not sure if the owner has ever made himself public. The card has been shown. The card has been publicly shown. It was on display at Fanatics Fest, but I'm not sure if the owner has declared himself.
Chris, we've seen, let's get off topic a little bit, as I'm known to do, because I'm going to give the people what they want here. And the people are all aware of a $12.9 million sale with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant on a dual logo man auto card that a bunch of investor types pooled their money together and purchased because they're true collectors. We're going to talk about this 98 PMG Gem Masters. Where does it rank in comparison to that? This is a Chris McGill. I want Chris McGill's input, Chris McGill's opinion. If this Gem Master showed up if it sold for $5 million, would you be surprised and say, wow, that's really low?
At this juncture, I would think $5 million is low for that card.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about 12.91 million?
That's
is
high.
It out of the question?
Yeah, that's too high. I think there's outside of the syndicate, I think that there's just very, very few people who are willing to go into the 8 figures for sports cards. There are some. We've seen it with Mickey Mantle. We've seen it now with the dual logoman autograph MJ and Kobe. But it's a very small number. But I would think that the Gem Masters would fall somewhere between 5 and 10 million if it did come to auction. And some of the reasons why is that it's the first 1-of-1 parallel to a PMG, and it's the only one in the 90s that parallels any of the PMGs. So in a certain sense, it's kind of like it's the rarest, PMG sort of concept going on there. And it's just such a beautiful card. It's got such a beautiful design. It's a great action shot. It's for a lot of people, it's always kind of been the mountaintop card. It's such a phenomenal piece.
Chris, do you recall what slab it's in, what it's graded? Is it authentic? Is it PSA, BGS? Do you recall?
PSA, there are pictures of it out there, and from Fanatics Fest, and it's in a PSA slab, and I think maybe PSA authentic, or I don't remember. Or maybe it has a numeric grade. I can't remember.
So logic doesn't always win in the hobby. I personally would think if you've got 2 cards sitting on a table, they're both slab PSA authentic. One of them is this Gem Masters PSA authentic, and the one next to it is a PMG Green PSA authentic. I am, without any hesitation, this is just me personally, I'm grabbing the Gem Masters and getting out of that room, right? Hopefully healthy and safe. What are you doing in that hypothetical scenario? Is it something where you have to talk your way through it? Is it going to be a 1 hour long Hoj podcast, Hojcast, or is it just a no-brainer? Give me the Gem Masters. See you later.
Yeah, I mean, I lean Gem Masters, but the PMG Green has a very strong argument, which is that it comes a season prior. The PMG Green is from the very first PMG set, and I think the PMG green, you know, for whatever this word means or whatever it's worth to people, but it's possibly Michael Jordan's most iconic card. So yeah, and there's 10 PMG greens, right? And some people can quibble with the Gem Masters. They can say 1998-99, technically that was not a season that Michael Jordan played in a game of. It is a season that documents his final Bulls season, but he never stepped foot on an NBA court for 98-99. So, you know, you could make the playing days sort of, you could make that argument too. So I think it's close. I think there's plenty of people out there who would take the PMG green, but I'm with you. I wouldn't have to think too hard. I'm taking the Gem Masters 1 of 1.
The PMG argument is this, and follow with me here. So if a PMG green authentic is, let's throw a number on it. Let's say it's safely a $4 million card, right? I don't want to get into, whatever, $4 million. A 98 gold PMG, which is serial number to 50 in a PSA authentic, is, let's just say, $175,000. We'll bump it to $200,000. That's 25x, right? That's 20x, 25x, something like that, from a PMG green to a 98. That would be the best argument in favor of a 98 PMG green taking down the Gem Masters. But there's just something about that /1 on it. And I know I don't have to tell you, that really takes this thing to a whole nother level for me. So those 4 cards right there, those are unique indeed. And it's interesting in that this project, that the card that we both agree might be the best of all of the 101s is not in the first 7 that were produced. And usually in this hobby, first to the plate eats in all cases, almost always. But maybe not in this case. So it's interesting.
Yeah, exactly, man. Michael Jordan collecting, you know, like it breaks all the rules.
It does break all the rules, 100%. The 3 themes. Okay, so this is cool. I like these. And a friend of mine recently picked up the one in the middle, as far as I recall. And there's 3 subset cards, and this is what it says: contributed to the second year MJ 1 of 1s. They reside in 98-99 Upper Deck. All 3 of these are Upper Deck cards, and there's one. Let's get you over. I'm going to stop screen sharing, but you're going to have to remind me to go back. All right, there it is. That's the one. That's the card in the middle on your screen that I was screen sharing. The Highway 99 gold 1 of 1. There it is on the back. It is safe and sound in the treehouse with Chris McGill. And then it's flanked on this, Chris, by the Heart and Soul gold and the To the Net gold. 2 cards which will be included probably in some type of supplemental hierarchy project at some point in the near future, possibly. I don't know. It might be lingering in the weeds. Tell me about these 3 cards and how you decided to group them together. It seems pretty obvious, but talk about it.
Yeah, these are 3 themed cards from 1998-99's Upper Deck base sets. That's just how Upper Deck like to build their products ever since they started. They would, what normally would be insert sets, they would number them to the base set. And that's how each of these work. So the Highway 99 is a 20 card or a 20 player set. MJ is one of them, and there's 19 other players. Shaq has a Highway 99. David Robinson has a Highway 99. And same works similar for the Heart and Soul and for the To the Net also. And I can say that I also have very recently acquired the Heart and Soul gold 1 of 1, but I don't have it in my possession. So I have 2 of the 3. And I'm working towards hopefully finding a way to be able to trade for the To the Net.
That would be phenomenal.
And then unite all 3. Yeah, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay, yes, now that's really something. Now we're talking about some closure. We're getting some closure in the Michael Jordan 101 world. That would really be something, Chris,
right, exactly.
And impressive indeed. I think you stole the Heart and Soul, personally. I know what you paid for it. We don't need to talk about it, but I think you stole it. So shame on you. Alphabet gold. Tell me about this.
I love these. These are not for everybody. I have 10 of these 23.
Whoa.
And I have the some of the ones I like the most. I have the first 4. Here's the first one, 230A. And so here's the spiel behind these is that, so like I was just saying, Upper Deck's construction of its base sets is very unusual. And the way that they constructed this base set was for Series 2, which is where these alphabet golds come from, these 23 alphabet golds. For Series 2, they saved their first unthemed, or what they call regular card of Michael Jordan for it. So that 230A is the first quote unquote regular card from Upper Deck base set to have a Michael Jordan 1 of 1, and it's gold. It's a gold 1 of 1, which is really cool. So, that's very nerdy. Like, I don't think anybody's really overly concerned about that. I think the big chase from the 1998-99 Upper Deck base set is the game dated gold 1 of 1, which is the first appearing. It's in series 1, is the first one that comes out, but it is themed. It is game dated. It has this extra content. Is that a subset? Is it not? It doesn't really matter. That's the big boy. But these, I really like these. These don't have a theme. These aren't game dated. These aren't anything. These are just regular cards. That's what Upper Deck referred to them as. Yeah. These are just regular cards, and they're all different. So even though they go A, B, C, D, E, F, all the way to W, they all have a different action shot, and they all have a different card number, and they all have a different caption on the backside. And each of the captions refers only to the 1997-98 season, which is further evidence that Upper Deck was using these to document, in particular, not Michael Jordan's career, not his legacy, but specifically his final season as a Bull. And so they're pretty cool. And here's one of my other favorite ones that I have. This is T, which uses the exact same photo as the PMG champ.
You read my mind. I was just about to ask you. I was just about to say, this card looks familiar. I have something that looks like this.
Yes, exactly. So this is the baby brother of the PMG champ. The PMG champ is obviously the card that made that photo iconic. Yeah. And is well known throughout the hobby. And this 230T is just the baby brother of it from Upper Deck.
Chris, am I crazy? Is this not right here? What would this be? Number G. You have G?
I do not.
Okay. Is that not the Upper Deck All-Star Weekend image?
And you may need to bring the screen back up to the...
Sorry, that's why I never switch over, because I forget to go back. This one right here, G. This one right here.
Oh, dude, that's one of the best photos of MJ.
I think that might be from Upper Deck All-Star Weekend. Okay. I wish I had it pulled up. We can look at it. But why do you think they chose 23, Chris?
I don't know. Great. That's a mystery.
Crazy random, huh?
Unsolved mystery.
All right, talk about this next one. The first one is the one that jumps out and punches me right in the nuts. This is the one that really stands out to me. I'm sort of familiar with the holding court. I think it's maybe a 30-card set. 29 of the cards feature Jordan and another player on one side or the other. And this 30th one, I believe it's card number 30 in the set. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. It's Jordan front and Jordan back.
Nailed it.
But this is not just card number 30 in the set. This is the holding court gold 1 of 1 from the holding court set. And this card is made of wood, correct?
That's right. That is exactly right. People are the holding court 30 card set has a lot of fans, and they sell strong in any of the different parallels. Yeah. And the reason why this one got included is because it's Michael Jordan on both sides. So it's not a multiplayer card. It's a single player. It's just Michael Jordan. And you're exactly like you said, I'm pretty sure it is card number 30 from that insert set. This card belongs to the collection of Spinatron, and good luck prying a card out of his collection. Yeah. I have inquired about this card, and it's just never going to happen. But it's an amazing card. He has an amazing collection, and the holding court gold is just it's a really, really special card.
Chris, the other 29 cards, is there a 1 of 1?
There is.
So there's a Kobe Jordan 1 of 1.
There is.
That's $12 million right there.
Well, so Spinatron, I think, has it also. And I think he recently made a post about it where he was explaining that Kobe Jordan is the first ever dual Kobe Jordan card. It's the first in that lineage, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
It probably took about 47,000 words to get there, but yes, I see what he's saying, and it is fascinating to think about. That might be the first Jordan Kobe 1 of 1 card in the world. It's made out of wood. It's not even a card. It's made out of wood.
Yeah. Dude, that's what the 90s was about, man. It was
the 90s is wild, man. It really is. Lots of LSD, lots of crazy stuff going on. These were all serial these serial number 1 cards here that you included in the alphabet gold. Sort of resemble these quantum gold. The quantum golds are die cut, the others were not, but along the same lines. They're not lettered, but they're numbered, and there's a pretty prodigious quantity of them as well. So like between these quantum golds, there's 30 of these, and then there's 23 of the others. That's 53.
Yeah,
even
dude, that's
Louisiana. That's a big chunk. 53 of 72. fall
big
into
bulk
those
of it.
two subsets. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big bulk of it, and it's nice that it works that way because those are, they're more diluted. They're way more accessible. I have 2 of the Quantum Golds. I've got number 4, Quantum Gold number 4, which has one of the cooler action
Wow.
shots.
Yeah.
And I've got number 20. I also really liked the action shot of number 20 as well. Now, the thing that distinguishes these is that these are inserts. They are not numbered to the base set. They're numbered to their own separate insert set, but they do come from 98.99 Upper Deck Flagship. And they are commemorative. So they are not documenting Jordan's final season. They are documenting his legacy, his career. If you read the captions on the back, these cards are paying homage to his career, which to some people that makes a difference. To some people, there is a meaningful distinction between cards that are contemporaneously documenting versus cards that are celebrating a legacy and commemorating.
It's funny because I see these images. Some of these images come from Michael Jordan 90s hierarchy inserts. I am 100% positive. Like I know for a fact.
Yep.
Yeah, like I'm recognizing images and I know those come from like right here. This is a total D card, is it not?
I think it is. Yeah, it looks just like it.
What is that from? Yeah, it's bringing back memories. And then in the Quantum Gold, make sure I'm on the same page. And so the people that are watching know there's these 1-of-1 golds, which are unicorns. Then there's serial number to 23, serial number to 230, serial number to 2300.
Nailed it.
Which
the 23 is sell pretty well.
Those are hell yes, those are monster cards. Those sell great. Those sell great, and those they are difficult because there's not 4 corners, there's like 10 or 8 or whatever, and the gold foil as well is sort of an issue on those edges, and so you can kind of throw grade out the window. Obviously, on 1-of-1s you throw grade out the window, but even on the 23s and the 230s, you're looking at a really low gem mint pop rate, even on the 230s, from what I've seen.
Yep.
The 4 checklists, Chris.
Yeah.
1-of-1s.
This is the final bucket.
Yeah. Series 1, there's 2 checklists. Series 2, there's 2 checklists, and we're about to. Yeah. So there's in hand right there. Yep.
This is the first checklist from Series 2. Exactly like you said. There's 4 checklists in total from so Jordan has he has those 4 checklist gold 1-of-1s from the 90s. And the reason why I like the one that I have quite a bit, and the reason why I wanted it, is because this is the checklist that lists the 230s, which I love. I love the alphabet golds, and this is the checklist that documents them. So it goes quite nicely with those.
So you got the checklist 1-of-1, and then you've got cards on the checklist 1-of-1 and 1-of-1.
Yes,
that's pretty cool.
exactly.
That's pretty cool to
Exactly. My big dream, my end goal of all end goals, is to get all 23 of the alphabet golds. But I run into a wall. I was moving very quickly. It was so interesting too. We were kind of talking at the beginning about how these are really, they are obscure. They haven't been seen. They're very hidden and unknown. And one of the reasons why is because they're all in Europe and Asia. So when I started accumulating 230 alphabet golds, they were all coming from Europe and Asia. The one came from Japan, several came from Romania, some came from Germany, some have come from the Swiss Alps, but they've all come from overseas. They're just not here. They're not in America. They're over
Chris,
there. Talk
to me about that process. How do you track them down? Do they find out you're looking? I mean, you and I, we got big mouths, we got wide reach, we got friends all over the hobby. And
so let me make a public service announcement right now. I am looking for more.
Obviously. We buried the lead. I know why you're on the channel, damn it. I know why you're here today, right?
I am looking for more, please. But the way that most of them came to me, well, the first one showed up on Instagram from a collector in Japan, and that was actually 230A, the first alphabet gold. And once I got it in hand, that kickstarted everything. That made me realize how much I really liked and was going to end up pursuing this. And so from there, I posted it. I put it on Twitter, I put it on Facebook, I put it on Instagram, and then people would start reaching out to me. And mostly it'd be people from overseas asking me if I'm selling mine. And I would say, no, I'm not. And then I would follow up, why are you asking? Do you have some? And then they would have some, and I'd say, okay, I'm actually going to buy yours. And then I would make an offer and pry theirs out.
I'm super excited to announce that BCW is an affiliate partner of the Cajun Cardboard brand. When you check out at BCW, use the promo code Cajun to receive 10% off of your order. those 4 checklists finish the 72, right? The 72
That's
solo
right.
Jordan playing years. You do take time to get into honorable mentions and acknowledgments, and talk to me about this section right here and what it means. And again, here's another picture of the 72, and you can see we wrapped it up with these 4 red checklists down here: the 2 Series 1, the 2 Series 2. Talk to me about honorable mentions and acknowledgments, Chris.
Yeah, so I did obviously exclude multiplayer cards, but I still wanted to acknowledge them. So I still paid homage to the Jordan and Pippen Heart and Soul 1 of 1, which is from the 98-99 Upper Deck base set, and the 29 other Holding Court 1 of 1s with Jordan and other players.
Okay.
And then I also wanted to acknowledge the printing plates, which we did earlier in this episode. And then also to acknowledge 1999-2000, which did not get included, but those are obviously masterpiece 1 of 1s of Jordan. I own several from 1999-2000 as well, but this was just focused on things that are strictly from the 90s.
If a 99-2000 1 of 1 popped up on a Fanatics weekly auction or Golden or Alt or whatever, you're in the mix, right? You're looking.
100%.
It's not like you're like, I'm good at 72. You're going, right?
I'm
going
going,
down.
man. So
Yeah. Okay.
Michael Jordan, period, up through the entirety of his licensed NBA licensed offering, which runs up through 2009-10. Through that whole period, so the entire licensed licensed NBA offering of Michael Jordan, there's a little bit under 600 Michael Jordan 1 of 1s. There's about 135 printing plates. 85 of them come from the last Upper Deck set. So if you exclude those, there's really only about 40 or so plates. And then there's about 100 multiplayer cards. Okay. So that's every Michael Jordan 1 of 1 that's NBA licensed falls within that camp, which is roughly 800 or so. And if you just focus in on only solo Michael Jordan's, about 600 or so. I'm interested.
Yeah, it's 25 years, right?
Yeah, yes, and I'm interested in all of those. Yeah. And they all have different interesting stories to tell. Sure. Like there's lots of different angles. Like the 90s only angle is one angle, but there's other angles. Like, you know, like this is one that I recently picked up that I haven't discussed or really shown yet at all. This is the 2006-07 Upper Deck Reflections Black 1 of 1. And the thing that makes that really special is, just like the 4 Horsemen, this card is not from the 90s, but it is a first appearing base set 1 of 1 of Michael Jordan. And there are no other 1 of 1s to it. And there's around like 40 first appearing base set 1 of 1s of Jordan. So that's a whole different angle, right? It's like cards like that too.
So again, refresh my memory. I know you and our good friend Stanley got a deal done to bring a lot of these cards into your collection. Did you think for a second there maybe that deal was not going to get done, and you had to let go of a pretty tasty morsel to make that deal happen, if you don't mind? The apple of my eye right now, you had to let go of in order to make that deal happen. What if that deal doesn't happen? What if you don't pry those cards from our greedy dentist's friends' hands? Does the project stall, or do you just kind of push through and just do your best? I mean, that would have been a big blow, man. Big blow.
It would have been a big blow, but like you said, it definitely was worth. It was a very strong trade on all sides. Yeah. And Stanley ended up ultimately using his proceeds from that trade from me to procure a PMG Champ, which was a card that he had always wanted and was always coveting. And so he, hit a home run, and I'm very happy with how my side ended up too. But I would look. I mean, I'll be honest, dude. I never thought I'd own one of the first 7. So whether or not I had one of those or not, it doesn't matter. And I think there's most people would say that among those first 7, the power deck, some people really like it, but I think most people would say it's not quite as nice as the other 6, and that's fine. Owning, perhaps what's the worst of the first 7 is completely fine by me. But yeah, man, I mean, that card is just, it's a dream to own that card, but I would be pushing on. I mean, this is going to be years and years, man. And I don't know where it's going to end up. It'll be really curious to see where I'm at like 5 years from now, let's say.
Chris, this card is it's super interesting. I think the regular power deck is interesting, and the regular, like, there's a die cut one that I've got a nice copy of that's for sale, but like, I think those are really cool looking and they tell an interesting story. But a lot of people aren't familiar with the back of this. First of all, this kind of looks like the back of the card.
Yeah.
Right? Am I wrong? I mean, correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
look
But
at all the it's all the fine prints and
copyright
everything.
language.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all crammed on the front.
But this is clearly the back of the card, right? This is not
That
meant to be the front of the card. PSA got it right. They slabbed it correctly. This thing plays, Chris. This plays
Yeah.
something right when you play it. Is it like Ozzy Osbourne? Do you have to play it backwards or what? Tell me what happens when you play this thing.
This is a great part of the lore of the card that Stanley passed on to me, is that this card has never been listened to, and you know for certain that it's never been listened to, the audio content on the power deck, because in order to listen to it, that hole has to be punched out of the middle.
Yeah, right here.
And it never has been. So this
When are we
nobody
doing?
knows.
What are we doing? When are we doing? What are we waiting on?
I look. I would much rather not know what's on there. It's just going to be like Michael Jordan reciting a Wheaties commercial or something.
Right.
Like we're good. We're good. We'll just let that. We'll leave it to a mystery.
Yeah. Maybe it's his true thoughts on the Bad Boys Pistons and Isaiah Thomas. You know? Maybe it's the truth behind Isaiah being left off the dream team, Chris.
Yeah.
Maybe you hold the key. You'll never know. You'll never know. So
he met the criteria, Bryan.
I'm using this cool website. It's called cardladder.com. And by the way, Chris, I don't know if you are, because I see you up there. You are a subscriber. Did you know if you use the promo code Cajun, you get your first month free when you subscribe to cardladder.com?
It's a great deal.
You may have heard that. It's a no-brainer, Chris. It's a no-brainer. All right, so we just looked at 72 of Michael Jordan's biggest and baddest play in year, one of ones. This is the Card Ladder showcase feature, collection feature. And so we're looking actually into the belly of the beast, and we're looking at Chris's cards. Of course, we could look at Mahomes and Purdy and Le'Veon and Joker and C-Mac as Christian McCaffrey and Luka Doncic, but we're going to probably stay here because this is the topic of the day. There's that heart and soul, one of one. We talked about the Highway 99. It's a little bit further down here. I thought I saw it. There it is right there, which is incredible. Chris, tell me about these 99. I'm assuming it says 99 upper deck. I'm assuming these are 99 2000. The higher powers. I've seen these cards and they're really, really good looking cards. What's the story behind these things?
People love these. When I've sort of experimented with just sharing pictures of Michael Jordan one of ones and seeing what people think about them, people gravitate to these like none other. I just threw a picture of this card on Twitter with I don't think any caption or explanation, and it got shared and liked more than maybe any post I've ever made. And so the higher power insert set is from 1999-2000 upper deck flagship. It's a 12 card insert set, and all 12 cards are Michael Jordan. And I have 3 of them, and they are really, really pretty cards. They're die cuts. They have a very shiny surface. Like I have that one right here. You can kind of see its glow a little bit. And very cool action shots of MJ. And so, yeah, I've got 3 of the 12. I know Spinatron has 1 more. I can find a public sales history of 6 of the 12 in total, and a few more have been graded. So those just the appeal of those, like they don't have such a great historical story. They're from the 3rd year of Michael Jordan one of ones. There's 12, so like there's 12 different ones. But they're just they're just beautiful. Yeah, that's the really, beginning and the end of it. They just look awesome.
That's why I asked about these. It was like, because honestly, I mean, they're all awesome, but these really pop. And even the non-101s, like when I see these cards on auctions and stuff like that, when I'm talking about cards, they really do stand out to me. Those are some freaking awesome looking cards. What are we talking about here? What's this bad boy?
Yeah, so I've got 2 of these now, and these have the biggest one of a kind or one of one stamp you'll ever see, which is that big one of a kind.
Chris, that's big.
It's big. Yeah, these come from the 3rd year of MJ one of ones, also the 1999-2000. There are 23 of these, I believe, 23 different ones.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got them both right here. Let's see, which ones do I have? I have number 13 and number 14.
What a cool back of the card looks cool too. Yeah, these are badass.
Those are cool. Those are obviously commemorative, but yeah.
Let me just show the people how Chris treats just ordinary inserts now. Now, if it's not a 101, this is how Chris treats his red PMG. It's just down here. It's just another card.
I don't get this. I don't get to set the. I think they're sorted by date added.
Oh, so sure they are. I know what
That's
you're
why
trying to
that
do
one.
here. I know what you're trying to do. You're
It's
trying to elevate the one-of-ones and diminish my babies. You know, my best card is an afterthought for Chris, which is pretty
uh,
frightening. Pretty
no,
frightening.
I was telling you earlier. These are my two favorite Michael Jordan cards of all time. The
Jesus, man.
Gold Embossed and the PMG Red.
Yeah.
So
Never
even
get
when
tired.
I was, and they're both from 97, 98, which is really special too. So
Chris, yours has great color.
yeah, I know.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Hang
it's
on.
a
I'm not
nice
on
one.
screen. There you go.
Yeah.
Yours has your GER 74 has got really good color, better than mine for sure.
Yeah, it's a nice one,
Um,
man. I don't know if it eventually turns, but I enjoy it while I have it. Those were just, even when I came back in 2016 to collecting, the PMG Red in that card just screamed out to me.
yeah. Agree. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, you don't have to sell me on it. It's my favorite card. It's probably my most valuable card. It's the card
Oh.
that it'll be the last card that I sell. If I sell this card, something went wrong in Cajun land. Because this is,
Yeah.
and you've got a 5. I've got a BGS 8. And I toyed with crossing it, and they told me it would cross to a 5. But I'll be honest with you, your 5 looks better than my 8 for sure. So maybe I should cross it to a 5. Because
But that was the decision I made, but that was
yeah,
back in 2018. But
yeah,
mine had previously been in a BGS 8 holder, and then I
yeah.
graded with PSA, and I got a 5. And back then, that was a bit of a gut punch. But
Yeah, now it's like,
now,
okay. Yeah, of
it's like,
course.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah. Of
take
all
it.
the cards that belong in a red PSA label, I can't imagine any are higher on the list than this one. And that's eating at me. I just don't want to pay $8 billion to cross it and drop 3 grades.
Yeah, man.
If it was
Oh,
free and instant, I would do it right now, and I didn't have to
yep.
ship it and lose sleep about anxiety and stuff. I'd probably
Yeah.
flip that switch.
Yeah.
Chris, this is fascinating. I mean, again, I hate to not even talk about your one of a kind pairing, which
Oh, I
is
love the one of
really
a
awesome,
kinds.
right? Really great. And then your classic 61. This is a Michael Jordan, monster tier 2 card. Easily an argument that it could be in tier 1, serial number to 61, Fleer Tradition 61, and a high grade PSA 9. And then,
Yep.
of course, 2 tier 1 absolute grail type inserts at the bottom. But then it's nothing but one of ones everywhere. And this is a printing plate, right?
Yeah. So this was not something that I sought out.
Okay.
But it was something that I took back in a trade to balance out the value, and then it ended up being a rabbit hole that I went down, learning more about plates. This plate does have this. This actually is not a plate. This is a card that has the plate embedded in it, as if it were a memorabilia piece. Like you can sort of see, like the Upper Deck
What?
logo on the plate is
Yeah.
cut off. So
Yeah.
this is a card that is themed as a proof, but the plate is embedded, and then Jordan signed the plate itself, so it is hard signed. These, as far as I can tell from my research, these are the first ever Michael Jordan autographed plate one of ones. So it's a cool set. It's something I took back, to make a trade, but then I started learning more about it, and I was like, if these truly are the first plate auto Jordans, I might hold on to this. So
This
those
is
are really
something.
cool.
Yeah, you need to hold on to this. Listen, I've got the back. Let me just read it because I can see it, but it's too small on your screen. It's Dick McWilliam, my favorite guy from Upper Deck, CEO. You have received an authentic printing plate trading card from the Upper Deck Company LLC. On the front of this card is an authentic piece of a printing plate because the borders are actually card. And so the printing
Yep.
plate's sort of embedded in the middle, almost like a Natural Born Thrillers type deal, right? Where it's a window pane. Used to produce the Michael Jordan Upper Deck game jersey autograph card. Enjoy it, Dick McWilliam. And then there's a picture of the damn actual card that the printing plate was used to create down here at the bottom. This is an insanely cool piece.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yep.
that is very, very, very eye-catching right there. And then you've got another printing plate over here from 2006 Fleer EX.
Yes. So this one has a cool story too. Like again, I'm not a big printing plate guy, but I've been learning more about them. And the deal here is that the card that was made from this printing plate is the 2006 EX, and it has a credentials out of 4, which is a 6-figure card. It's a very valuable, highly coveted card, but there's no one of one parallel to that card. So these plates, which do have one of one written on them, these plates are the only one of one versions of that card. Granted that these are plates, not traditional trading cards, but there's something neat about that. This is, in other words, this is, as far as I know, this is the only one of one item parallels any of the credentials. So it's got a pretty cool story too.
That is cool. It's a one-on-one plate that does not have a corresponding one-on-one card.
Exactly. Perfect
That's really
way to
weird.
say it.
Yeah. Amazing. Here's the deal. Like, people are going to comment below, this is a hype session about one of ones. You're putting this project. I had to deal with this, right, when I first came out with the hierarchy project. And then people watched and realized, oh, I'm putting, 50 hours into this for 5 straight years. And they realize, oh, maybe it's not just a, way to make your cards more valuable. You're releasing the project in the same manner that I did the hierarchy project, when you still need more than you don't, you need more cards than you already have. So you're not doing yourself any favors bringing attention to this, except that you'll locate them, but you're going to end up paying, because of this. And so,
I've already run into that. Yeah. I've already run into that. Yeah. Because I let people know that I was trying to complete the alphabet golds, and then, of course, completely fairly, but people are like, okay, well, you want these really bad, so maybe I'm going to hold back and not sell these or trade these to you right now and just see what happens. I've run into that a few times, which is fine. It's a market. That's how it works. I think you and I are both, we both studied law. We're both talkers. We learn through dialogue. We put ideas into the universe. We get feedback. We learn. I can't wait to hear positive or negative feedback. And the only other thing I want to add too is I'm still learning and so on. And the other thing that I want to say, and I try to always couch it this way, is that there's no claim being made by me that these cards are better or should replace other Michael Jordan cards. I'm not saying that these are better than his exquisite era stuff. I'm not saying these are better than the 90s. I'm not saying these are better than early Star or 80s Fleer or anything. And I'm a huge fan of the iconic 90s, parallels and inserts. I'm not trying to say that one of ones are better or anything like that. And that's not even part of what's entering into this discussion for me. I just am personally, as a collector, I'm fascinated by these. They have been attainable. I only started adding them to my collection in June. These are the fruits of just a few months of trading and procuring. And so I'm very excited about it. Like I've been doing just like you did with the hierarchy. I've been doing a lot of research into it. We've produced some visual aids now, and it's where my passion lies. I'm uniting my favorite player of all time with my favorite card type of all time, which is the one of one. It's been invigorating. I've been just pulsing with hobby energy ever since I started this project.
Well, it's also, we're always looking to hedge risk in this hobby, financial risk, right? I can't imagine, it's got to be a great feeling, Chris, knowing that whatever you pay for a card, you're getting a very limited Michael Jordan one of one card that, in the event you have to make moves, maybe some of these one of ones have to be sacrificed to get one of the, lucky 7, right? Maybe that happens down the road and you'll have to make that decision. But look, 99% of the time, if you're ever in the position where you have to liquidate one of these cards or make a trade for one of these cards, you're probably going to be trading with somebody out there who's never had a Michael Jordan one of one card. So there's got to be some sense of comfort you can take. Every one you add to your collection, there's not a lot of risk there. This is not a Reed Shepherd gold prism. This is not a Jonathan Kuminga, logo man auto, right? This is as far from risk as you can possibly get in this hobby. This is not even a green kaboom. Okay. Right. This is
prospecting on Michael Jordan one of ones, but very risky.
Yeah, that's right. So that's a great feeling. I feel a lot of that, with the hierarchy stuff. The higher up you get in the tiers, the more comfortable you get, even though the amount of money you're spending is greater. So I would urge everybody that's watching this video. I'm not saying go out and only buy one of ones. I'm not doing that. Right. But go at least find some type of balance in the hobby to where every single acquisition you make is not gambling. That's my best advice. And I'm not going to go into any more detail than that, but it does, soothe one's collecting soul and your anxiety level when you know that at least a good chunk of your collection is in a Michael Jordan, a Gretzky, a Brady, Some of these guys that, they've done what they had to do, and the book is closed on their accolades on the field. It gives you a good sense of accomplishment and feeling, and it'll kind of temper the nerves when you're watching, Christian McCaffrey, get the ball on 3rd and 1, knowing this is probably the play where, somebody gets to his lower legs.
Dude, I've been through that like 4 times now with McCaffrey, where
I know.
He comes up lame on a play, and I was just like, well, this season's over.
Yeah.
And I feel
Chris,
bad,
man,
horribly
thanks for
the
joining
guy.
the channel. I'm impressed that between you and me, we got through the whole video, the whole project. We showed your collection. We shouted out
Yeah.
Frizzo. We looked
Yeah.
at every single chapter of it, and we're going to wrap this thing up in less than an hour. It's just unheard of for you and me.
We talked longer about Magic Johnson and Larry Bird.
We did.
No, we were very
definitely
efficient. We're very economical here, and the resource exists if people want to go, dive further in.
That's it. If you have any questions about one-of-ones, reach out to Chris. He's super, super accessible. And, he's part of the reason I got into content creating, because he responded to my messages way back when he was a podcaster and I was not. And that's part of the reason I got into this Michael Jordan world and hitting record and talking, screaming at the screen. And if you've got a one-on-one, for God's sakes, please reach out to Chris. He's a buyer. And I think I can safely say he is a intentional buyer. He's a very aggressive buyer, right? He's not loose, but he's a very aggressive buyer because he knows what these mean and they mean something to him. And so might be an opportunity for you to reach out and get a trade done with Chris. Who knows? Maybe that red PMG ends up in somebody's collection in exchange for one of the lucky seven.
Nope. Don't even think about it.
Okay.
The red PMG might be my favorite card of all time.
I don't want to spread rumors, so we'll leave the red PMG out of this.
Yeah.
That's it, guys. Chris, thanks for joining the channel. This won't be the last time. This may not even be the last time before the end of the year, because you've come on plenty of times and you've been always gracious with your time. But I do appreciate you joining from the treehouse as always.
My pleasure, man. Thank you for having me.
Thank you guys for watching. Let us know your comments on Michael Jordan one-of-one collecting in this project that Frizzo put together. And make sure you do go give Chris and Frizzo a follow on Instagram and pay very close attention. And if you're on Spotify, go find Chris. Tell me the name of it. Is it Hojcast? H-O-J-Cast?
Yeah, the Hojcast. Yep. H-O-J.
Hojcast. H-O-J Cast, C-A-S-T. It's great listening. If you're going to listen to it while you're on the treadmill, you're going to get in shape really quick, because Chris likes to talk just like I like to talk. So you're planning on about a 45-minute workout if you hit play, and you won't want to turn it off, because I've listened to every one of them start to finish, and it's fantastic. It's just fantastic stuff. So thank you guys for watching. As always, keep collecting, stay positive in the hobby, and peace.